What's up, Virgo? This is Christian here. I'm here to do a reading for you guys for the month of November. Thank you guys so much for tuning into my channel. I really appreciate you guys being here. If you're a subscriber already, thank you so much once again for tuning in. If you haven't subscribed, hey, here's a good time to go ahead and do that. Go ahead and click that subscribe button. Also, give me a thumbs up and let me know what you think of this video down below. Yeah, let's get into the month of November. This is going to be for Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Oh, and I did want to say one thing. I've been saying this in my videos for November. I've never quite given a formal introduction of how I conduct my reading. So I wanted to kind of tell you guys a little bit about how I read. I definitely read intuitively. I am familiar with the traditional meanings of the cards, but also too, I am a very, very visual person here. So sometimes things pop out to me through the pictures, depending on what spirit tells me. I'm an intuitive reader, so sometimes the associations and the meanings that I may get from the cards may be a little bit different than what other readers may have or say. That's the cool thing about tarot, that everyone has their own interpretations and they're all valuable to the, and to someone, so no judgment zone. I won't judge the way that you guys have learned, the meanings, if you know them in a particular way. And I just ask that as you watch my readings, that you don't judge me as well. We one more thing we don't need in the world is more judgment. I know that I'm really all over the place with my talking. I don't know if it's because of the retrograde or what, but I'm just like blah 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 blah. All right, sorry, but yeah, so sometimes my readings, they particularly pertain to spiritual growth, spiritual ascension, ego, spirit, inner child work, because I feel like those topics and those things, when I read on those things, first of all, that's what spirit gives me through the cards, but those are things that put the power of your life back in your hands. It's the difference between giving a person a fish and teaching them how to fish. If you give them a fish, you keep them fed for a day. But if you teach them how to fish, you teach them to be fed for a lifetime. I know that I'm butchering that. I think I just butchered that twice in one day. But that's kind of the gist of this here. So just wanted to put that out there to you guys so you guys can know what to expect. All right. So you don't sit here like, okay, when's it going to get to the relationship portion? Because that may not come. Now, if those things do come up, definitely I'm going to let you know those things. But if they don't, they don't, so just here we go. We're just going to get into it. So coming into the month of November, the transition card from October to November with the King of Cups. So very, very good energy to have. This is definitely an emotional mastery. This is definitely sitting in the midst of your emotions and learning which ones are going to bring about more of what it is that you want in your life, and which ones that you kind of have to hunker down on so they aren't quite destructive, because emotions can be that. The thing about the King of Cups is he sits amongst this ocean. On the traditional card, there are ships in the background that are kind of on their waves going up and down, but he's sitting on a concrete throne that's in the middle of the ocean. So no matter what his emotions are doing or what the people around him are doing, whatever things that are triggering him or whatever people are trying to do to trigger him, he's not letting himself get caught up in the mess or the madness or the rut of any of that. He definitely is very peaceful and sound in his emotional center. So this is a sense of peace. You're coming into this month with a peaceful energy. So you're able to see things from a very, very different perspective because you're not being overwhelmed by emotion, by letting your emotions get the best of you to where you can't see things for what they really are. And that's a very, very good energy to go into, because I feel like what it does is it takes the emotional aspects out of the decisions that you make as far as what you invest in, because you do have a couple of cards here that have to do with finances, the Pentacles here, and you also have some cards here that have to do with what could be like business, what can be dreams, what can be jobs and desire, your will, your thoughts on the future. You're not letting these thoughts or these emotions come in that make you feel like you can't, that tell you can't. You're not letting people in that tell you can't or anything like that. And you're definitely, you're shutting all of that out. You're not letting anyone make you feel like you need to move faster than you need to move, or that you need to be anywhere sooner than you need to be there. And I don't know if this is something that's been self-initiated, but this is definitely the outlook that you have going into the month. It could be a water sign around you that kind of helps you out with this, or that may be assisting you with this, which, could be Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. But if not, this is definitely you just being in a place of power, and you acting from that place of, what are my emotions telling me? What is my intuition telling me? Is this a move that I should make? Is this a move that I should not make? And when you are feeling those emotions that are the ones that we consider negative, right? You're not letting them cause you to react. You're using them as your source to be able to figure out what sense of direction that you should be in next. So you start out the reading with the Knight of Pentacles, and this is definitely, I'm an earth sign. This is earth sign energy right here. Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo. But it's what it is very, very slow and steady. And it's very, very cognitive of where he's very, very cognizant of where he places his energy, his effort, because he wants things to grow, to expand. He wants to be in the game for the long run, the long haul. He doesn't want to make bad investments, not at this point in the game. And I think that with the King of Cups, maybe in October, we're starting to see where we have made bad investments. And I think that the thing about planting seeds and being a gardener is that you can plant a seed, and when you plant the seed, you have the same hope for every seed that you plant, right? But that does not mean necessarily that every seed is going to grow, right? So I think that what you're starting to understand, and what you've made peace with this King of Cups here, is that every seed that you plant is not going to grow, no matter how much you want it to, right? So the only thing that you can take and master is the statistics of seed growing. Well, if I place this type of energy into this type of situation, 9 times out of 10, it may have worked that one time or that 2 times, but the majority of the time, more times than not, it didn't work in my favor. So that is the knowledge that we're going into this with instead of going into situations with the mindset that everything that I plant should grow, and if it doesn't grow, that means that something is wrong with me, right? That little voice in the back of your head saying that when you put your energy into something, if it doesn't turn out right, because you guys are my perfectionists, right? If it doesn't turn out perfect, then something is wrong. And not only is something wrong, because that's an issue in itself, but something is wrong with me. But that thing right there, the Virgos that I'm talking to, you're definitely conquering it. And even if it's not something that you fully have your grasp on, you're sitting in a place to where you can see it. So right now, there may be the currents around you trying to tell you those things, but you're weathering the storm to be able to kind of interpret what it is that your emotions are telling you, rather than to be caught up in them. And this is kind of making you kind of slow down, okay? But I like the fact that the Knight of Pentacles is right here with the Wheel of Fortune, because I believe that it almost reminds me of a person that is playing slot machines, or they're playing like what's the game? Blackjack, or what's the game where you throw the dice? Whatever the game is where you throw the dice on the table in the casino. I keep getting that picture in my head, because this is, it's funny because I've been to the casino a couple of times, and I won't spend that. I'm a tourist, so of course I'm not about to spend that much money in the casino. But the funny thing is, whenever I play a game of chance, I expect to win the game of chance. I bought a lotto ticket like maybe a month ago, and I expected to win the lotto when I bought the ticket. Now, anyone can say that's crazy, right? But I just believe that, hey, today's going to be my lucky day. I'm going to win, right? Now, I'm saying that for kicks and laughing, because of course, I'm not a millionaire. I don't know if I'd still be doing this if I was, but I probably would, because I love doing it. But that's in a joking way. This is the same thing for you guys as far as life. And this is us coming to, Virgo, you guys coming to the conclusion that game is a forever turning wheel. The game of life is a forever turning wheel. And sometimes you lose things, and sometimes you win things, but that's all a part of the game. That's what the game is of life, that the unexpected happens, and sometimes good things happen to bad people, and sometimes bad things happen to good people, and you just kind of never know what you're going to get. And life maintains that kind of uncertainty so that we can never have it fully figured out, because if we had it fully figured out, we would just coast through. We wouldn't really change. We would find a path that feels good, especially for earth signs. We find something that kind of feels good to stay on, and we kind of just stay there. So there would never be anything that would kind of make us grow. And I feel like in November you're coming to that, because this Knight of Pentacles right here with the Wheel of Fortune is making you hold off on what you're willing to invest in. But I don't think you're holding off in fear anymore, because that is what this could have been right here. I don't think you're necessarily holding off in that fear anymore. But what I think you're doing with that energy now, because it would be funny if I would see this over here, because I would expect to see this over here on this side, not before the Wheel of Fortune, but with it being behind, I'm like, bingo, because Virgos, you guys are smart. What you're doing with this right here with these top 3 cards is making me laugh. I wish you guys could see me right now. Is you're using the knowledge about, you're watching the game. Okay, this is where you're saying where it's like if you were betting on something, well, you wouldn't bet on the team that kind of had a statistic for losing. Yeah, if you were taking a chance, you know, you probably say, no, let's just shoot it, and let's just try to see if that team will win, right? And sometimes you'll come out lucky. You might win big on that. That's the game of life, right? But what you're doing is you're taking your Virgo energy and you're applying it to that in the right type of way. Instead of it being like, I'm doing this so it must work, and if it doesn't work, then it means that something is wrong with me, something is wrong with the way that I'm doing things, something is wrong with the world or the system. There's no more blame game. What you're saying is, okay, I'll use my skills to study this thing, whatever that may be. That could be jobs, that could be what type of people you're dating, or how dating works, and looking at that. Whatever it is that you're looking at, you're observing it from an angle where you're not prejudging it as you see it, and you're taking it for face value for what it is. And you're using that knowledge to hold off before you put into things that you won't have a high probability of being able to win. So one could say, but that's still being a little hesitant with playing the game of life. Well, no. The thing about it is, you're going to gamble regardless, right? That's what life is. But it's better to make a wise gamble than it is to make one that's not, right? So if you're going to have to play the game and it's going to be guessing anyway, why don't we make decisions that are more likely that we win than we lose? And there's nothing wrong with that. Don't ever feel like you're cheating life because you're doing that, for one. But also, two, it's still taking you away from blaming situations and things like that. So playing the game is better than pretending that this game of life doesn't exist at all. And I definitely feel like you're coming into that. And with the 4 of Pentacles, you're holding and taking stock of your seeds until you can find a really, really, really good play to be able to put that energy into. I kind of see that right there. So this could be you kind of reserving up and kind of studying. You have the Page of Rods right here. So this is kind of looking at things. This is really, really understanding about life and looking at life with a fresh lens. So with a fresh set of eyes. So I think that you're going to be noticing some things about fate. And I think that it may deal with you looking at the people around you, definitely looking at the ups and the downs of people's lives, the rise and the fall of some people. I think if you were to actually take a moment, if you haven't, because what I feel like you're looking at, in particular for some of you, is this focus on like mentors or people that you see on the top. It could even be like a celebrity, someone that you look up to, maybe your parents, or for some of you, if it's relationships, you're looking at what they call what do they call them? Bay goals, okay? Or couples goals, right? You're looking at that couple goal, right? But you're not seeing, you know, the infidelity that may have happened in a relationship, or, you know, the people that this person had to give up, that whose heart they broke to be able to get there. Not saying it is necessarily that particular way, but this is understanding that there is more to situations than what meet the eye. And a lot of times when you see people on the up, either they're on the way down or they just came from being on the way down to come up. And those are the things that people don't really they don't really show. So if you've been looking at life like that, right, where you're only seeing the good and you're only seeing that positive things always happen, you know, you're thinking that whenever you plant your seed that it should turn out that way. And when it doesn't turn out the way that you see it, it makes you feel this sense of failure that you kind of internalize, you know, and kind of start attacking yourself or beating yourself up or beating up the situations or saying, you know, whatever the case, because we all cope in different ways, but really it all goes down to the same thing, us feeling inadequate or feeling like we're not worthy of having that same thing, but not understanding that there are ups and downs in the flow of being able to get there. It doesn't just, everything just doesn't happen overnight, but understanding that and observing it, it lets you feel better or more confident. Not say that, I was about to say, when people feel down, it makes you feel good. When people, no, not necessarily like that, but it helps you to have a more humanistic approach to your circumstances and to your life and about where you are on your journey, that kind of brings in this energy that lets you be able to move slowly into things and not to feel like you have to have everything done overnight, right? And it's okay to hold yourself back and to observe as long as you need to before you plant, okay? Even if you know, it doesn't matter what day you decide to invest your energy into something, there is still always going to be this chance, so there's no rush. If you feel like you want to watch more, you can watch more. If you feel like you want to do it tomorrow, do it tomorrow. And when I say invest, I'm talking about maybe it is an investment, but maybe it is a dream that you want to accomplish. Maybe it's a job that you want to have, a relationship you want to start, or maybe it's new habits that you want to bring into your life. For some of you, it can be where you're wanting to bring money or this wealth to your family and things like that, and you're looking for the opportunities of how can I get there, how can I get there, how can I get there. Life is going to continue to give you these seeds, okay? And you can still study life if we can get out of the space of thinking that, okay, I have a seed, I have to grow the seed right now, it has to grow into this powerful tree right now, because if it doesn't grow into a powerful tree, then who am I? What am I? If I can't grow this tree, then who am I to the world? I don't matter if I can't do this. If I can't perform, then I'm unworthy, right? You know, so that is kind of like this, that there's this end of an era that's coming to that, right? You don't even have to be in overdrive and go mode all the time, and you still are doing something even when you're not doing something. And I know that's kind of hard for you guys, Virgo, because it's kind of like, you know, we earth signs, we like the movement, we like to feel the earth, we like to touch. Maybe you like gardening, you know, quote unquote, in whatever way that is, and starting something new and seeing something day to day until it becomes something beautiful, something that you are proud that you created and that you made. But there comes times in your life where the value of you does not rely in the, I mean, not rely, is it rely? It does not depend on what you can produce and what you can grow, okay? It doesn't depend on that. And if you want to stay out of that as long as you want to before you decide to be a part of that again, you can, okay? You can do that. You can decide to show up whenever you're ready to show up, all right? To life, okay? It's so funny. I just got the 4 of Wands in the reading for Leo. So some of you could be dealing with a Leo, but you know, whatever. But the thing about this card is no one's there at this party, right? And usually in this card, it's funny. I don't know why I just noticed this for the first time today, that in this particular card, there's no one at this party like they are in the traditional deck here. And, you know, it's just this reminder that life is still going to be there when you go back. If you need a moment to be able to pull yourself together, to be able to look at the board, you know, like when you're playing chess or something, you need a minute to be able to look at the board. You can't always be in, let me play. That's how you kind of lose the game, you know, because you're not really, you know, sometimes we can miss out on those opportunities that we have to advance further if we were to kind of pay attention. And this is the traditional card. So, you know, see, it's people there, but it's almost like, okay, look, I'm not at the party right now. And you don't have to show up until you're ready to show up. This demand of us in life, you know, to always be in go mode, to always go, to always be doing. And what are you working on? And what do you do? And finding this value in what we do as opposed to who we are, those things are kind of, that paradigm of living is kind of coming to a close. It's coming to an end. And it's better that you start to prepare yourself for it now. And I think that spirit is definitely helping you to start seeing that. Because you're going to start to see some of the things some of the structures that you may have, believed in or thought, some of those things are not just you, the world. Some of the things that we've leaned on, the structures, the systems that we've leaned on, to be able to sustain, have fallen down. Just think about it. Think about going to work every day. Some people have lost their jobs. Some people are not working their traditional 9 to 5 where they find their values and where they find value at. And they're having to even this kind of shows that no one is here. No one is showing up to these structures no one is showing up into life that way. And it's making everyone kind of go on this path of trying to see, well, what's important to me? What does all of this mean to me separately? And this is what you're doing. You're really, really starting to get a glance, and you're really, really starting to learn how the world really, really works on a very, very deeper level. And this is you, the Page of Rods is you sitting here looking at your opportunities, looking at where you can go, looking at the path that you want to make based on the information that you're drawing in with this Wheel of Fortune. How do I want to move now? And it's going to give you the choice. And the thing is with life, spirit is going to keep on giving you things. You can decide on what you want to do with them when you want to. There's just this pressure always on you guys, I feel like, to just perform and to perform great, because Virgos are I'm sitting here playing with these cards, I'm sitting here playing with these and shuffling these as I'm talking. But look, the 10 of Wands right here, holding on to everything, keeping everything together because you're perfecting everything, taking everybody else's work, taking everybody else's loads, and then whatever these situations are, like if a job came to an end or something like that, and then you've been feeling this energy of like, why is it taking so long for me to find another one? Or why don't I feel pressed to find another one, right? You might be like, oh, I don't feel like putting in this application. You might be really moving really, really slow towards another one. And it's funny because the Knight of Pentacles is here and the Page of Rods is here. So at the same time, you might be kind of stalling moving forward because you want to say, hey, is this how really life is life, how life is supposed to be? And that's such a beautiful thing for you guys, because that's your spirit kind of nudging you to think like, okay, is there something more? Is there something more here? And I think that it may have been trying to give you that sign with the randomness of the seeds that you plant, right? To make you believe that that you really, really have no control over that. And the funny thing is, you do kind of somewhat get the control, but in order to get control, you have to know that you don't have any, right? You have to come to the realization that things are not within your power. Then you can, that is the power right there. I actually had that, I believe I had that come in a dream, either a dream last night or yesterday, sometime in between yesterday. That thought popped into my head that learning that you have no control makes you the most powerful person on the field, because you know that you can't control everything, and you can count on knowing that for sure. Like, you can't be sure that you can win, but you can be sure that things will be random. And with that power, it lets you be able to get to this place to where you're not letting the ups and downs of life kind of sway you, because you know that it's all random. It's not purpose. It's not intentional to you if things don't go right. And it's not intentional to you if things go good either. It just all happens, right? That's putting you in this powerful position to be able to invest in yourself too. That's kind of what I'm getting for the Four of Pentacles right there, to keep more for yourself than you're willing to give out to everyone else, because it's really like it's really a every man for himself kind of thing, or every woman for himself kind of thing now. And that's not to say to be selfish and not to be caring of anyone else, but it's good to keep a little for yourself when you are coming from a position to where you've always taken on a lot from other people, and you've always assisted in helping everyone else to be able to grow. Some of which, as we're talking about, did not, sprout out, to be the plant that you would necessarily want it to be. So this and this together are having enough of yourself for yourself that if you were to invest one of these that you wouldn't lose your sense of self. And it's kind of funny that these three are right here, because every time I think about the Three of Pentacles, the Three of Pentacles to me is always about co-creating with spirit, collaborations, definitely in real life collaborating. But in this particular deck, it's talking about, for me, it's co-creation with spirit. And I see here it's like the pentacle on top of this person's head. They're still thinking about what they're doing, what they're giving to with the Knight of Pentacles, but it's definitely something that's spiritually led. And also too, you're keeping enough here to where you still have your connection, to where you're not depleted, to where you lose yourself into what you give or into how much you invest in other people. And that's why the King of Swords here, because this is a master, it's like a master plan. He's great with plans. He has the vision. He can see things very, very clearly for what they are. And you have the King of Cups. So the King of Swords and the King of Cups, you start off with the King of Cups, you end with the King of Swords. This is business minded. Not even on it could be an actual business, not saying that it couldn't be those things, but it's just this mindset. Look, the Ace of Swords comes out as I'm still shuffling these cards right here. It's this clarity and this mindset, this perception that you have of everything that's going on in front of you, where you're not letting your mind program you into thinking things differently. You're not letting your emotions get you caught up in their streams of things right here. Look, you have the Six of Wands coming out. You're knowing exactly where to give and who to give to. And you're giving from the abundance that you've created for yourself, and you're not depleting yourself, based on your emotions, either not listening to the emotional cues that you're being told when you're trying to, put into someone or put into something that's not really working out for you. And I can't remember what the other either thing is that I was about to say, but look, you got the Four of Pentacles again right up underneath that. So once again, this is that when you keep some for yourself, you put yourself in a position to be able to give like you want to be able to give. So you have those things right there, right? So yeah, I mean, I think that's a very, very good energy to have for going into the month of November and closing out with the King of Swords. This is a pretty powerful month for you guys. Also too, yeah, I just want to, just a reminder, if I could say anything, is just to keep in mind that it's okay to watch the board. It is totally okay to watch a board. I remember playing games with my dad as a kid, and if it's games like strategy, like checkers and things like that, or Monopoly and stuff, my dad would give me time to say, look again, think about what you do before you do it. He may not say necessarily, tell me what play to win against him, but he'll give me the opportunity to be able to, it was Connect Four. That's always the game. It's funny because it's the Pentacles right here. Connect Four was always the game that he would say that in. Look, are you sure? Look at the board again, right? So this is Spirit giving you the chance to be able to look before you make those plays, especially since it could take you out of the state to where it means so much for you to win or lose. Now you're able to, you've mastered being able to getting the knowledge of being able to understand a little bit more how life works, right? But the Wheel of Fortune could also be something, a turn of luck or a turn of events coming into your favor as well. So definitely that could be something coming in like that. So yeah, that's what I have for you guys for the month of November. We're gonna pull a Numerology card here. What advice do we have for? Okay. Leadership. All right. Perfect to have with the King of Swords right here. All right. Taking charge of your own life. Let's see. Putting yourself back in power. Have the other card. The other card is follow your dreams. So yeah, so this is definitely, I definitely feel like this, what you are learning right here is definitely going to put you in a better path for being able to get more connected to the things that you want. I think that it is possible for you to get there, but there's been this sense of depleting yourself, pushing, because of our emotional drives. And this is kind of like to make things work. I kind of feel like that may have taken us out of our course, right? But I feel like this is coming back into balance. I love the fact that leadership is here and you have two kings here kind of leading the way. You're taking charge in your own life and it's pushing you towards the things that you actually desire, which the King of Cups is really, really helping. You know what's funny? Actually, I feel like this right here. The King of Cups energy is helping you to follow your dreams. And I feel like the King of Swords is helping you to push this leadership into your life to be able to take more control of situations that you feel that are taking control of things being out of control. I think that'd be a perfect reading for you. That'd be a perfect name for this reading right here. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really, really appreciate you guys watching this video. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And I think I'm going to post a timeless reading sometime later this month. So make sure to check it out on my channel. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.